So what we're dealing with is an army of robots, an army of automatons. Their only response to stimulus is Pavlovian. They can only respond with what they've been programmed. I mean, it's almost like Terminator shit, right? Doesn't matter. The Terminator is programmed to go get Sarah Connor. Nothing is going to stand in his way. The leftists are programmed to do. The leftists, the fists, the wrists, all of these lefty groups, they're programmed in a certain way. It's kind of like an if-then-else, right? If you're familiar with coding, you do an if-thus, then thus, else something else. And so when they come at you, for example, with a Kafka Trap, and a Kafka Trap, in case you don't know, basically you are accused of something, and your denial of that something confirms that you are the something you are accused of. It comes from a novel, The Trial, by Franz Kafka, back in the 20s. This argumentation is used all the freaking time. You're a wrist, because you're a white dude, so you're a wrist. It's like, well, no, I'm not. I really, that's, the fact that you're denying it is proof of your guilt. So how do you fight against this? Because these are the weapons of war that we are facing. They're going to use all of these tactics: No True Scotsman, Mott and Bailey, Kafka Trap, Straw Man, Steel Man, Gish Gallop, all of these things. What do you do when you're fighting an army who is programmed in a certain way that can do nothing else? It's like a computer. You get in your car, you accelerate, you push on the pedal, it does what you tell it to do. It has no other response available. So what happens when you have a bunch of fists coming at you with Kafka traps all over the place? You're a wrist. You're a grapefruit artist. You're a this. You're a that. You're a PEDO. You're a wah-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Whatever they come at you with. What's the natural response when you're accused of horrible things like I just mentioned? Well, the response is to defend yourself. No, I'm not that. If, then, else. If thus and such denies, then he is guilty. There's no other way. There's no nuance. There's no subtlety in their argumentation. If you are thus and you deny thus, you are guilty. How do you fight against a Kafka trap? How do you do that? Well, one way is you short circuit the response. You break the if then else. You don't respond. It's very simple. You say, thank you for your opinion, but have a nice day. Now, what is the worst part about that? Well, if they call you a wrist and you do not respond, well, you're considered a wrist. If the programming is, if he denies being a wrist, he's a wrist. So you're a wrist anyway. It's almost like a double bind. It's like, okay, I'm not going to feed you programming. I'm not going to give you a stimulus. I'm just going to say, thank you for your opinion. Have a nice day. What happens then? Well, the if then is broken. And then we go to the else. What is the else? In the programming, the brainwashing of these people. The else is ad hominem. Look around. It happens all the time. You cannot attack the argument of the person, so you attack the person. If the expected stimulus is not fed back to the robot cannot respond except in the way they are programmed. If they give you an if, you don't do a then, they go to the else, which is ad hom. Well, you're obviously a misogynist. Or obviously you hate, women. You blah, blah, blah. You hate people of color. Where's your evidence of that? And the robots have no Pavlovian response left. You diffuse the argument by not responding and let them spew their ad hominem. Because what's it going to hurt? You're whatever they think you are anyway. So why even engage? Why even bother? Just don't respond. That's it. Diffuse the situation. And once you get them out of their if-then-else programming, they have no idea what to say. They can't support their arguments. Evidence, statistics, data doesn't support anything they say. They'll cherry pick data. See, well, look at this. But then if you go and say, well, excuse me, I read the study and thus and such and this and poof, brain explodes. They do not know how to come back. This is a very, very important weapon we have. And as of late, Justin Bieber was accused of you-know-whatski. He came back and said, here's the receipts. Fuck you. I am suing you. He didn't come back and say, wow. He just said, look, I wasn't there. You're fucked. I've got better lawyers than you. Get ready to pay up. You short circuit the response feedback loop. No one expected that. No one expected Justin Bieber to say, well, I've got receipts and I'm going to sue you. What they expected was, I'm so sorry. That was the then. Oh, you're this. Oh, I'm just an evil man. They didn't get that response. What's the else? Well, the else in this case is the person who accused Justin Bieber deleted their anonymous Twitter account. And when Bieber came up with a freaking army of lawyers and said, you are toast. Not expected. They weren't expecting that then, were they? They were expecting a denial. Oh my God, mea culpa. They didn't get it. Because Bieber didn't do what they claimed he did. And he's not going to sit there and just kowtow and wash the fucking feet of some anonymous cunt accusing him of shit he didn't do. Now, you might not like Justin Bieber, but goddamn, dude's got some balls with respect to this particular response. And that is the way it's got to be. You short-circuit their argumentation by not responding with respect to the Kafka Trap. And if they do come up with a bunch of bullshit, do not sit there and take it like a cunt. Fight back. It's the only way. Because there's no convincing these people with argumentation, statistics, data, with rational, logical reason. They are programmed robots. That is the army we're facing. A bunch of Terminators who know only one thing: what they've been programmed to say. James Maxwell, thank you for listening.